But when I had to call the supply officer, says, I'm demanding regatta cheese. It was like, are we really fighting a war here? So I want to start off with a story that was kind of fun for me. I was just on the back end of a 6 month deployment with the Navy. And, if you know about going out to sea for 6 months with a lot of your brothers and sisters after a while, you realize that, um, you're looking for some downtime and you're looking to have some time where you could just relax. Some of us play cards. Well, over the last 5.5 months, they figured out I was Italian. And so they said, hey, Mr. Bill, could you make some Italian dinner before we go into port? I've been away for 6 months and I just like some good Italian food. So we pulled in. One of the things when you come from the Persian Gulf and you head to San Diego where we were home ported, you stop off in Hawaii. So I agreed after a lot of persistence. I agreed I was going to make lasagna for 180 people, and I think I made like 16 sheets of lasagna. Um, but here was the kicker. This was kind of the funny story. The funny part was I had to get ingredients, and I have never in my entire life made 16 trays of lasagna. So I don't know. It was like 35 pounds of ground beef. But I get to the cheese, and I'm putting the order in for one of the supply guys to go, and I'm putting the cheese, and I put well, what do you get for lasagna if you're Italian? You get regatta cheese. So I put regatta cheese, and I send it up the chain of command, and the supply officer says, "No, Paul, we can't do that." I says, "What do you mean you can't do that?" He says, "Oh, we only could do cottage cheese because that's what's in the stock system." I said, I am not making lasagna for 180 guys because that's all they're going to talk about is you put cottage cheese in that. Like my name would be defaced, and so the master chief says you need to call the supply officer if you want regatta cheese. So anyway, with enough push and shove, I helped the supply officer, luckily over the 5.5 months, get things that he couldn't normally get. He says, all right, Paul, I'll take care of you. So I ended up making 16 or 17 trays of lasagna with regatta cheese. I was happy. And the last part of it is we have what's called midrats, which is midnight rations, that's food for folks when they're on the midnight watch, so they can go through the galley and get a little bite to eat when they go stand watch. And a bunch of them said, Mr. Bill, there's no lasagna left. So it was that good. Usually there's some food left for midnight rations. So I think there was like a half a tray left. And so I heard it for the rest of the 2 weeks before we pulled into San Diego. You need to make more next time. So it was kind of fun.